Welcome to RedJay's channel, and today in Star Citizen we will be looking first at the Scythe and then the Glaive in a short first look style. If you like the video, be sure to do the usual, but I also invite you to come hang out with us on Orions.pro Discord server. Website link and direct Discord invite are in the description of this video. So let's take a look first at the Scythe. Fast becoming the symbol of the Vandal race, the Scythe is a foot soldier in every raid and the target of every human fighter pilot. Featuring a hefty weapons payload, the Scythe's real asset is its maneuverability, and boy does it have it. Found in twin main thrusters and 12 maneuvering thrusters. So let's start with the negatives on this thing. There's an issue right now with its landing mode. You see it in its current configuration while I'm going to take it out. Its wings are supposed to fold up when it's in landing, and it unfolds them to go into combat, flight mode, whatever. Currently, you disengage the landing mode, and it goes right back into it. I will stress, though, that this is not too much of an issue. You can still use this craft. If you get your hands on one, don't hesitate to play with it. Use it in combat, whatever. It does look a little awkward, though, to say the least. As you can see, the gun is in the top left and the bottom right, and you're supposed to fold away, and there they go snapping back into landing mode. But I took it out anyway. Does not seem to affect flight. It does have an asymmetrical weapons and frame, but this does not seem to impact atmospheric ops at this time. It does have a weak bare bones frame. We'll get into that a little bit deeper in a moment. And one of the other major issues with this aircraft, just keep in mind, it has limited access to mods and upgrades. It is an alien craft. You're not going to be able to go to the nearest dumper's depot and just grab random stuff and throw this on here. This is going to be something you're going to earn, or something you're going to recover missions, or something, new modules and parts for these craft. However, I'm guessing they will be plentiful with the Vandal Swarm situations once that hits the PU in the long term. So maybe this won't be too much of an issue. Okay, so with all that out of the way, why is this craft interesting? Why did I bother to make a video about it? I think that the biggest thing is to know your enemy. This craft is going to be plentiful. It's the foot soldier of the Vandal race. So if you're into PvE content, or you're forced into PvE content, depending on how the game is made, it's good to fly this thing, test it with your org mates, your buddies, and really figure out what this thing's strengths and weaknesses are. And one of its biggest strengths is it is fast. I compare this thing to my 350R, which is probably faster in a straight line, but not by much. It is extremely maneuverable, and that's where it does pull ahead of a faster craft like a 350R or something like that. And if you aren't banking and booking in this craft, you're doing it wrong. It has an aggressive style, so if you're into that, it's a lean forward type of approach your pilot's into. Even the computer's almost yelling at you. It's a completely different experience to say a MISC or an Origin, a JumpWorks craft. So I would say that it's a pretty exciting craft to fly. Once again, it's extremely maneuverable, aggressive style. It has a small footprint, and this is something I think more strategic that we need to think about. So when this thing's wings are folded up, it's almost like the size of a shoebox. It's extremely small. And I'm guessing that was because the Vandal used these things in squadrons, not just one or two of these things. They're going to throw a lot at us, so that's good to keep in mind for the future. But right now, it could also be useful for players. I would love to see this thing stacked up in a Polaris if those wings aren't too tall. I would love to see how many of these things can we fit on specialized craft, maybe with smaller wing carriers. I don't think it would fit in a Carrack, but I'm not saying no. I mean, I'd love to see it with maybe the Carrack's hangar open, some like, low speed shenanigans or something. But I don't think that it's that widespread. I'm sorry for those folks who are trying to find that out. But I do see this thing as a practical ship for many different use cases, and I would love to see how many of these things can really fit. As you can see, it's a very small frame, and it is very exciting to me. If you can get your hands on one, test it out. Overall, it's a very unique light fighter that needs further investigation and shows a lot of promise. I've got to say that I was very excited with this craft. Getting a hold of it in 3.8.1 was quite a pleasure. And if you ever need a chance to get one of these, you're wondering, how did I get this? I don't own one. I use the test server. This video from the last PTU build just before the live build. And all craft were available. so don't hesitate to get into the PTU. Do bear in mind that you can copy and paste your live build if you have enough space. It's like 50-something gigs, but if you can clear up enough space, paste it into the PTU folder in the local files for your Star Citizen, and you will only have to have maybe a 500 megabyte patch. So don't think the PTU is out of reach as long as you can find the space for your hard drive. Okay, now we're going to switch over to the Glaive. This thing is a very different craft. I mean, it doesn't look different when you first get in it. The actual seating style, the computer system, it's all the same. However, the symmetrical guns, the more conventional feeling flight model, I would argue that this is more of a desirable ship to me. I understand the Scythe has like a lot of status symbol to it, but the Glaive is a beautiful ship. It reminds me a little bit of the Banyu Defender. I can't help but wonder if the Banyu Defender was inspired a little bit by this thing, dare I say it. I obviously have nothing to back that up with, and it looks... the Defender has a different core, but the way the weapons are styled and the way the thrusters are outlaid in engines, it's just... it feels a lot like one. So if you like the Defender, you're going to like this thing. And I would say that the Glaive's biggest asset is it's a bit heavier of a fighter. It actually can take a hit. I had some video. I need to get a bit more of combat. I want to try to get like a montage of this ship. I really was a big fan of this. The next time there's a test server, or I can just get a buddy who has one to hook me up. I would like to do some more in-depth review of this craft. Once again, I feel like it's a more all-arounder. One of the biggest things comparing the two ships is that this is a bit slower. It's not... It is still very maneuverable, and you can see its flight model is actually completed. It has like doesn't have the glitch that the other one suffers. It would take up more space, going back to the practicality and strategic aspects of this. So if you were trying to fit this thing in a Polaris or something, I don't know. Maybe you can fit one if you're lucky. You can see me testing the thrusters here and the maneuverability of the craft. I would say that when you really look at the two, I would say that this thing could take a hit a little better. And in general, I think that's something that you need to think about. So what's your play style? How many people are you trying to equip with these things? And at the end of the day, what are your goals? But anyway, thank you for watching the video. And this was just a first look. I'm just literally saying ideas off the top of my head. And I hope to do a more in-depth review, especially if you folks show interest. And have a good day. Thanks again, and feel free to come hang out with us on Orion.pro. And this was RedJay. Take it easy.